like you need to get more comfortable in your own skin, in your body, because you're beautiful, you're powerful, and you just need to bring out that inner that inner king within you, and that's what you need to focus on, and that's where you've been lacking.
What are we talking about? Where
I
did
don't know,
that
man.
come from?
I was saying I was like not feeling it this morning. I haven't had a coffee. I'm kind of tired. I'm a little bit groggy in the eyes, and then you're talking all this mad smack, man. And I need to bring up
We're
what
live.
needs to
We're
be
live.
addressed.
We're live.
Are we live?
We're live, man.
All
Just
right.
holy man.
Yeah.
Let me just fix up the lighting here, man. Holy shit.
Folks, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Happy
Look,
New Year.
man, the people have been asking for a live stream. Like, you guys don't understand. I had to drag Messin kicking and screaming in front of the camera in order to like do this live stream. He was saying, "Oh, I gotta do my hair. Oh, I gotta do my makeup." I'm out
What
here.
hair?
No
What
hair,
hair?
no hair. I don't know. That's what
hair?
That's my point. That's what I keep saying. What hair? But you keep
No, I'm
saying
saying that you're lying, man. Everybody knows you're lying.
I would never lie.
Even my Apple Watch is saying no. I'm not saying that you're lying.
This is
Like
fake
that.
news.
That's how crazy that is, man. You know what's actually scary as hell?
I can't hear you over the sound of my hydration. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, my hydration was just blocking the sound of your nonsense. Go ahead.
My Apple Watch, every now and then, it just turns on. It just says, "I'm sorry, I don't understand what you just said."
Yeah, that's probably a common thing around you. I bet.
I'm just thinking,
I wouldn't be
like
surprised.
my intelligence is a little bit too much. Maybe it's just a bit too much
Is
for
it though?
everybody
But
to
when
understand.
everyone around you is saying the same thing, is it really your intelligence, or is there something else
No
going on?
one's
You know what I mean?
You're the only one. This stupid watch. To be honest with you, I think everybody really knows how I get down. And sometimes some people are just not meant to understand it. Some people
Listen.
are just not meant to understand it.
All
And
right,
that's why you're
listen.
gonna stay broke, poor. You're gonna
Okay,
be broke.
listen, man. There's two scandals that we need to address. It's 2022, all right, and some shit went down, and we got to talk about it. Number one, we got to make it clear. I am the CEO of aMillionortheMoon. We had a board meeting discussing this. All right. We brought the board members in. We had deliberations and we settled on our positions. Man, look, there's only so much I can do to look out for you. I've carried you under my wing. I've mentored you, and you've grown and developed so much under like my patronage. But at a certain point, man, you just got to be comfortable with your position in the company. And one day, if you keep working at it, you'll get there. But just so that people know,
what are you on?
I'm
What
the
are you
CEO
on, bro?
of
Are you on
aMillionortheMoon.
crack or something? You must be. You must.
Did you
be
take
high.
away? You took away the little bars, didn't you?
I didn't. How did
But
you
they're
take
gone
that
now.
off?
Oh, I think they're gone while the comments are showing.
Hold on, no, we gotta show that, guys. I really gotta show people what's up, man, because you're actually my butler. And sometimes people are delusional, guys. Sometimes people actually get very delusional. He had the CEO thing for almost 5-6 months, but guess what? No one believes it.
And you didn't
No
say
one believes
anything.
you.
I was gonna.
No one believes you.
Look, man. If we have another board
Exactly.
meeting
See,
about
keep
this,
stuttering
it's
because you
not
don't
gonna
have the
go your way.
cohesive,
It's not gonna go your way. There's only so much
bro.
I can do to protect you.
Bro,
If you
there
keep
was a
at
board.
this, it's gonna get out of my hands.
Okay, man. Can you
And
just
I
shut the hell up for a second, man?
okay.
Can you just shut the hell up for a second? Can we just introduce the people? What's
Yeah.
going on, people? Appreciate you coming in. I'm sorry for my butler. I apologize. He really
CEO.
doesn't know how to get around the social thing, and I'm teaching him. And things take time. We got to give him time. He's like 14 years old or something. He's
I'm
not even
17 and a
allowed to
half.
be on this channel, but I'm actually letting him have it.
My parents gave me permission. Thank you,
Guys, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We're gonna talk about it a lot today. It's a new year. Happy. Shut the hell up. Let me finish for a second, bro.
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
My goodness.
He's all upset with his emotion.
Appreciate you guys coming in. Today, we're going to talk about, what we think is going to make us crypto millionaires in 2022. Hopefully, that also gets you there as well. We're going to talk about some, what we've been excited about, what altcoins we've been excited about, what's, what we're really interested in for this next year. And we want to get your thoughts, man. If you have any questions, any charts you want us to take a look at, 100%, we're going to take a look at it as well. But, do us a favor, man. Like the video, share it, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. Look at him. We got a poor fella, man. He's right there, blare screen. He looks like he's going to cry soon.
Who? What are you saying?
It's you, man. But just for Brendan's sake, he's broke. I
No,
hope you
guys,
guys
look,
support us.
with Messon's recent demotion in the company, he's very upset. So let's just all like and subscribe, share the live stream. It'll it'll make Messon happier. So in terms of the beef, there's no beef. It's just we got out of a board meeting recently. It was established that Messon was demoted due to lack of hydration, and I was promoted to CEO of aMillionortheMoon. Messon's upset. He's trying to overthrow the company structure, but for now, that is the way the company is organized. And I
That's
think
true.
the sooner you accept that, the sooner we can move on. Here.
Yeah, Buffo on the B man
Is
knows what
my
says like Brenda's on the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
what's wrong with my Wi-Fi? Is my Wi-Fi not working? Is there something wrong?
Huh?
So before we get to the serious stuff, guys,
Let me sip on my Starbucks real quick.
Sure, guys, look, we actually have serious stuff planned here. We want to talk about like a bunch of stuff. Our plans to make millions in 2022, hopefully help others along the way. Plenty of stuff here. Where'd you go? Anyways, but one of the things I think Messon just left here. But one of the things,
bro, my bad.
No, all good. That look, man, I've made a lot of bets on this channel, on our Twitter and our Discord, and I stand by my bets. So I just want to update the people. Look, I think sometime a year ago, I said that if Ethereum doesn't reach $10,000 by the end of 2021, that I would shave my head. And I just want to make it very clear.
And
that
look at you now with a Bieber haircut.
And
yes,
that's exactly what I did. I got a bald fade a couple days ago. I posted a video. Not only that, I took a razor to my head and shaved my head to further prove that, hey, I stand by my bets. I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong on the timing. I think Ethereum's going to reach 10K.
terribly wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Terribly wrong.
I was wrong, and I shaved my head. I got a bald fade. I took a razor to my head. And I have a shaved head right now, and I just need to make that clear, because man, look, well, maybe we can bring this up in order to transition into some of the more serious stuff here, which is I've made another bet here, which is
there we go.
The bet I made was I bet that PulseChain will do a 1000x before Bitcoin does a 10x.
End the live stream, man. End the live stream. Let's just thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Maybe you start with your reasoning. Let's just start with your reasoning, man. Let's just maybe have some sort of structure to this whole thing.
Let me finish it.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So that PulseChain will do 1000x from all-time low to all-time high before Bitcoin does a 10x from its April highs, which is basically 65,000. So before Bitcoin goes to $650,000, I bet PulseChain will do a 1000x from all-time low to all-time high to kind of further hammer home my point that although saying Bitcoin is a stupid investment is very problematic because there's very good rationales to liking and holding Bitcoin, I do believe that for most people, Bitcoin is a waste of time because I believe that most people in crypto are interested in life-changing wealth, which you will not get that with Bitcoin.
Right. So maybe we'll delve into that deeper, man. Deeper. We'll talk about, let's just start with it right now, man. I guess, it's the new year. We're looking at a lot of things. People are asking, people are sending emails, people are calling us, texting us, asking us, what's the next big thing? I think it's pretty clear, guys. You can tell by all the videos we've been putting up and all the people we've been bringing up. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of good options in the market, and we have been focused a lot on, I would say, like 4 things, which we're going to talk about in this video. Yeah. But before we even get to that, let us know if you have any questions. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do. But I think I have the main question for me, man, to kind of kickstart this whole live stream is, what was your biggest mistake of 2021, man?
Yeah, man. So look, like you said, we're going to talk about our plan for 2022. We're going to talk about what we've been paying attention to and why. But I think before we do all that, I think it really makes sense to revisit 2021 and talk about where we went right and where we went wrong. Because, man, 2021 was a roller coaster. We experienced a lot. This was our first, crypto cycle, quote unquote, for us. We got a lot right, a lot wrong. And I'll speak for myself. Yeah. And look, man, in terms of lessons learned, there were plenty. I think one of the most important lessons I've learned over this last cycle was the importance of active management and not just this hold forever mentality. Because I think with what we've seen with Bitcoin over the last year, we've seen what we've always known but never truly appreciated, which is new things happen all the time and you can't really predict them. So I think having this kind of passive hold forever strategy, if you're truly okay with just buying something, checking back on it in 4 years, that's fine. But if you're the least bit concerned with optimization, which I think most people are, I think more of a active management role in one's quote unquote long-term portfolio makes sense, because number one, Bitcoin leads the market, and I think there were clear telltale signs that we can get into later if we want, with some of the massive swings we saw with the April highs, the massive crashes, the all-time high. There was always signs of weakness at the tops, always signs of bullish reversal at the bottoms. And so I think looking out for those moving forward, and taking profits when Bitcoin is in these extreme oversold territories, and maybe dollar cost averaging in when we're in these extreme oversold, selling in the overbought territories, buying in the oversold territories, rather than just this passive hold forever mentality, makes much more sense. And just to kind of wrap up here for a second as well, another two key things. So the first one was the Bitcoin following Bitcoin. It's massive swings for timing in and out of your long-term portfolio, quote unquote. But then also the fact of narratives, man. I remember, DeFi summer 2020. That's when we saw Uniswap, Aave take off, those kinds of things. Then we saw the NFT narrative first kick off, and then we saw the Ethereum competitors, the Solanas and the BNBs, and now we're experiencing the metaverse. And I think there's truly something to that. And let me know if I'm going on too long here, man.
Go ahead, man. The floor is all yours. I got a couple questions for you, but go ahead.
Yeah. I think I can wrap up and put a bow on it pretty quick here, which is these narratives. What they teach us is that there's this effect that I think needs to be more appreciated moving forward, which is called market sponsorship, where certain niches and certain cryptos have periods of market sponsorship, where if they're in a narrative that's got the hype, they'll do well regardless of the progress. But if a project's developing a bunch, but it's not in an narrative that doesn't currently have the hype, it might not pump that much. So paying attention to number one, Bitcoin and its macro swings, but also what's the current narrative of the day? Is the narrative dying off? Is it just starting? Is going to be incredibly important, I think, for better optimizing kind of a long-term portfolio moving forward.
So that's actually pretty interesting, because maybe my question for you is, because obviously the biggest thing everyone talks about is you just need to hodl, hold till it gets to the moon, and just don't buy and don't sell. So how do you kind of explain that in relation to how majority of the market is obviously the newer people that come in, they kind of sell, the buy when everything's going up, and they kind of end up getting obliterated when everything jumps down and drops 60-70%. They actually end up selling. How does that kind of, what's your, not advice, I would say, but the biggest narrative in the space is to actually hodl as much as you can and don't sell, keep holding diamond hands, blah blah blah. And with what you're saying right now, I guess there's like your new thing now. If you see signs of some sort of reversal when we're going up, try to take profits and only buy when things are kind of dropping. Is that what you're trying to tell the people here, brother man?
Well, look, man, like, here's the thing. People say hodl forever, and that works. But the people that are truly willing to hodl the next 4 years is actually very few and far between. Very few people are actually comfortable just forgetting about a massive investment for years on end and coming back 4 years later. Very few people are actually comfortable doing that.
Right.
And so, look, I'm a fan of giving people kind of something tangible to look out for. And I'm trying to pull up the RSI here, but it's kind of fighting me. So if you just give me a second.
No, while
Yeah.
Brandon, I guess, is getting his life together here, guys, we'll give him a moment here. I think maybe one of my things, man, from last year was probably that this place is so fertile and there's a lot of innovation happening. There's a lot going on that whatever we have preconceptions from before that, I think the whole, we always talk about the whole market kind of decoupling from Bitcoin, decoupling from Ethereum. Now the market is looking different. For the longest time, we're focusing on the V chains. For the longest time, we're focusing on, those Zilliqa. What else did we get into at one point, man? We got into a bunch of shit like Ethereum, all that stuff.
Everything, yeah.
But I think the mainstream is kind of dictating where crypto needs to go right now. And I think, we talked about it before, is first layer scaling solutions. We're talking about the biggest thing I think that kind of changed for me as well is that look, man, the whole new thing with meme coins and NFTs and the whole metaverse, I think that's what's going to kind of hold the crypto space on its back. I've been focusing a lot on that as well. But I think the number one thing that everything shines in crypto when you first come in. You don't even know where you want to go. Where you want to blockchain development? Are we in, what is like file sharing coins, derivative plays, SNX, all that shit? What are we going to look at? Everything just looks amazing. But yeah. I think what I've been focusing a lot the most is who has the most user base. I think user base is what got Axie Infinity to jump. I think user base is what got all these different game tokens to jump high up. I think all these kids playing these games and got into crypto and they're looking for the crypto gaming platform is what got everything to jump. And that's what I think is going to get us to survive in the space. So that's what I've been, looking for. I didn't really pay much attention to that last year. That's what we need to pay attention, in my opinion, this year, besides, besides all of that. But again, I feel like you want to share something more about, I think your approach was more from an investment standpoint as well. I think my answer is probably more from a fundamental standpoint, but we can mesh those things together. So what do you look for, man, sort of a market reversal signs?
So I think the two things we bring up are complementary, not they're not you don't consider one or the other. I think it's very good that we brought up, you brought up some fundamental factors, users, and we can delve into that more so later into how that's affecting our plan for 2022. But in terms of myself, I think two of the things two main takeaways, at least obvious ones, that I learned from last year is following Bitcoin's macro moves for determining how the altcoin market's going to react and when to take profits. And then also the importance of narratives. Like, for example, synthetics. Synthetics was in my it was in my top 3 list for 2021. I made that like the first day, second day of 2021. I put it in my top 3 list, and synthetics went on to do like a 280% pump. But just a few months later, it crashed and is actually below the price of synthetics today is actually below when I made the video 1 year ago. So that, in my opinion, was an absolutely terrible call. And the reason why I did so shit is because synthetics being a derivative play, due to the lack of regulatory clarity, that whole niche lost sponsorship. It lost market sponsorship. So that's something we really need to be aware of.
When you say market sponsorship, you're talking about just market.
It lost the hype. It lost the attention. Exactly, pretty much. Yeah, it lost the interest of speculators in this market. When there's regulatory uncertainty, when Binance, many governments were going after Binance due to listing derivatives, unregulated coins. When that first started happening,
like Apple,
yeah, they were listing like Apple tokens, Tesla tokens. So this was all unregulated. This was all rumored to be what is this? Stocks, what's that word for stocks? Securities. This was all rumored to be securities. So as that was all happening, the market got fearful of that niche, and so things like synthetics lost market sponsorship. And so we got to be very well aware of what is the market currently favoring. What are the niches that are currently in favor? Right now, it's metaverse. Right now, it's mostly NFTs. You remember the first wave of DeFi, Aave, Uniswap. They're dead, man. They're not doing well at all because they lost market sponsorship. The speculation, the hype went elsewhere. And so I think it's very important to keep track of the narratives. And then on top of that, if you pair that with what's going on with Bitcoin, then I think that's a very powerful combination. And if I would have done those two things, I would have been much more profitable than I was in last year. And also, man, if I can maybe bring up a chart real quick here. I don't want to hover on this too long here, folks, but I just want to bring this up as an example of something tangible you guys can keep in your back pocket as to something that could perhaps help you. Again, not financial advice. time the markets. Because look, a lot of people like to give, just fancy words out there, but I like tangible things. So I want to give you guys a tangible example as to how I plan to better optimize an altcoin portfolio moving forward by number one, focusing on Bitcoin. Because whether we like it or not, Bitcoin affects the rest of the market, both liquidity wise, psychologically. It's very important. Even if you're a hex person, I want to make the case that it's still important to understand Bitcoin due to the psychology of the market. So a couple things here. One of the things I've realized has been extremely helpful and extremely accurate at calling macro swing moves with Bitcoin is the daily RSI with Bitcoin. Two things to keep in mind with the daily RSI. Number one, divergences in RSI, and number two, trend line breakouts. So I believe I can get this done in 2 minutes, folks, and it's going to be a very powerful tool that you can keep in your tool chest moving forward. So number one, divergences. What is a divergence when in relation to RSI? A divergence is when you have a lower low in price action paired with a higher high in RSI. That is the first telltale sign that the downtrend is running out of strength, that the uptrend is building strength. And so over here, when we saw our first signs of daily bullish divergence, followed by a trend line breakout right here, well, that was a telltale sign that the downtrend was over and an uptrend was coming. And if you would have followed that sign of bullish divergence, perhaps bought the lows around here, or perhaps longed at this breakout of this trend line on the daily RSI, if you long that breakout, you could have been up on Bitcoin over 100%. So folks, those divergences followed by a bit more confirmation could be extremely powerful. So divergence and trendline breakouts over here as well. Very clear trend line on the RSI. Again, you could draw this slightly differently. It pretty much means the same thing at the end of the day, which if we see a breakout right here on the daily RSI trend line, we had a 40 some odd percent rally. So we can see the breakouts to the upside, but also it's good for calling moves to the downside as well. Where over here we see a higher high in price action paired with a lower high in RSI. That's bearish divergence. And so we saw the signs that we could break down here. So once we saw that bearish divergence followed by our next lower high in price action, that was pretty much confirmation that the downtrend was beginning. So just to wrap up very quick here, folks, the daily RSI, divergences, and trendline breakouts are extremely powerful for calling swing moves on Bitcoin.
100%.
Do you have anything out there, man?
No, I have a lot to actually add, but that's how we summarize it. But I think the biggest thing we can add to this, man, is that we also need to know what's actually driving this price action. What's coming into the picture. Why are people buying at the moment? You need to really keep an eye out on market sentiment. The biggest thing with market sentiment is that you gotta, this is what I felt, okay? Because I talk to my friends a lot. Yeah. And about crypto. I talk to my family a lot about crypto. Terry Ball is talking. He's saying hi, mom. So Terry Ball's mom, if you're watching,
hi, Terry Ball's mom.
Hello. We say hi as well, guys. If you have anything to add to this, tell us what are how do you actually try to not time the market? We don't like timing the market, but what are the specific things, tangible things that you actually also take a look at to determine, should I be taking profits at this point or should I be buying more at this point? Let us know in the comments, and we'll actually share your comments on the screen here as well, so you can have your bit of moment of fame here. But the biggest thing is the market sentiment as well. That's the biggest thing in my opinion, man. You got to keep an eye out on the news, how the government's projecting, what they think about crypto on a regional scale, on a global scale as well. And overall, we know how these impulses we have in the market, just like how you're seeing here on the screen. You see some crazy impulses to the top after a very bad period of bad news and a lot of fear, doubt, and uncertainty being shared in the market. All of that, you got to start understanding that you're not buying when everything's pumping, man. That's when you're supposed to be, taking profits. You're only buying when things are in the red, when there's, blood on the streets. That's how you should be thinking about things. And if you come into crypto because you saw some sort of ad somewhere, you start hearing CNN's talking about it. You start seeing it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. Trust me, it's too late. When you start hearing about it in that kind of way, that kind of manner, you need to start paying more attention to when everything drops. That's one of when we first got into crypto, that's what we did, man. We're guilty of that as well. You're only buying when things start to pump because you're FOMOing in. You're scared that you're not on the hype. That's when the big guys actually start to dump on the market, and that's when the market starts to take some sort of reversal, because they have this saying, when the shoe shiner starts to talk about stocks, You know, in this case, when the shoe shine starts to talk about crypto, it's time to sell, man. That's how it is. So majority of the time, if you're coming into something that's already pumping, stay away for a bit, man. That's not the way to go. You gotta pay attention when there's no one. We see that on the channel as well. You know, we don't really talk to you guys much about it, but bro, for the past 5 months, in the past 5 months, we had zero traffic on the channel. Because why? You know,
At the lows, when
Bitcoin was all the way in the bottom. Nothing is happening. People are outside of any video we put out on, even on the videos that get us the most traffic, like VeChain, like Cardano, like Ethereum. No one was watching. But when Bitcoin pumps, when we start making new all-time highs, people start coming back into the space and they're asking, what should I invest in? The problem is you should have been investing when everything is down 60% when we're talking about it. So what I'm trying to say is, you want to make money from crypto? It's not easy, bro. It's not easy. You got to come in and you got to pay attention when everything drops. I was putting my money. You were putting your money. We were doing research. We're trying to improve our knowledge in the space. And that's why now I don't have a problem when you don't have a problem when Hex dumps 60-70%.
When Hex dumps 67%, I get excited. I want to buy more Hex.
And not even that, you're probably still up. You're still up even if it dumps 70% because you've been in it for a while. We've been in it for a while. Same thing with crypto.com. We were talking about crypto.com at 5 cents. 5 cents, people. I'm so comfortable telling you to still buy, you know, obviously not financial advice, but Bufo, of course you were here, man.
Bufo, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate
you're an OG. What I'm trying to say is that I lost my point. I forgot.
You were saying that you were talking about how your lessons learned for 2021, and I think from your end, what you're saying is you're hammering home the point of buying.
You got to put your time in. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You got to put your time in. You got to be here when no one's here. You got to be here when no one's here for you to make money. Otherwise, you're not going to make money, man. You got to be here when no one's interested in the space. You got to be, my bad. Crypto.com. That's my point. We were talking about crypto.com at the 5 cents on these live streams.
We got to 100 about crypto.com back when it was nothing, man, at the lows. We were talking about crypto.com burning, the majority of their supply, and the price hadn't even reacted positively.
And no one gives me credit, man.
Yeah. I'm tired of this shit. You got to tell them, man. You got to let them know. We called crypto.com that move. We were bullish on it. We were talking about how it's such a better investment. Oh, well, it looked better than oh my god, dude. Yeah, we were talking about this back when it was like 7 cents, 8 cents.
But the point is, it's not where we're not trying to flaunt this. We're trying to say
no, but
there's a point to this whole thing. You know, no one was watching these videos when there's nothing happening in space. Now, if crypto.com drops to 20 cents, we got in the 5 cents. We don't have a problem. I'm still gonna be much more comfortable talking about crypto.com. Why? Because I was here when no one else was. We were here for the Hex dip. We were here for a crypto.com dip. We were here for the Ethereum dip. We were here for the SNX dip. And that's why it's easy for us to talk well about these coins, because we put on the time. And I'm done talking about this. Back to you, Jim.
No, guys, look, we were talking about crypto.com right over. You see that green circle? That's what we were talking about crypto.com. And now we're up hundreds of percent because we focus on the things of high quality when no one else is paying attention. Folks, when everyone else is paying attention, that's when you should be scared. When you find something that is of high quality that no one is paying attention to, that's also on a dip, folks, that is the recipe. That is the winning recipe. That's where we found most of our winners. Finding the thing that nobody pays attention to, which is what we've been focusing on the channels of recent. You know, we've been focusing on Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, VVS Crypto.com. Why? Because not a lot of people are paying attention to that niche, and it is because it is of high quality. No one's paying attention to it. That is exactly where you find, the potential for outsized gains, man.
Definitely, 100%, man. I'm seeing here some of the comments are saying Messin is smoking too much. He's losing his short-term memory. I don't smoke, man. Yazad saying, I subscribe today, fellow Hexic and Pulsic, and welcome to the channel, bro. We're saying, Gerald is saying, man, seems like y'all been blowing up lately last month or so. Thank God, man. People are starting to pay attention. We love it. We love interacting with you guys, and we love doing this, man. Here, Boof was saying, this is definitely my favorite crypto channel, man. You're definitely I'm blushing, bro. And Crypto D got a question for us, man. Maybe we'll talk about that, and then we're gonna get to the PulseChain. We're gonna get to the Hex. We're gonna get to
and our plans for 2022, and
all that stuff, man. Crypto D saying, my camera went off. Do you think owning land and sand is better than owning the equivalent of ETH? One block off land is almost 4 ETH. Thank you. Are we
Do you
buying
want
real
to?
estate? Is that what
Do
we're
you
saying
want
here,
to?
Joe?
Do you want to take that one first? You want me to do this one?
Like I would probably say here, let me just share the question here. So for the
Yeah.
people that actually didn't see it yet, look, man, we didn't really get too much into this whole, buying real estate on NFTs platforms, on sand and all that. But I do think there's a market for it, and we talked before about all these things. I don't know specifically the prices and all that stuff, but I do think at one point there's going to be a future for this. Is it going to be sand? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm not really as familiar with the platform much, but is there going to be a market for memes, NFTs, and all that? 100%.
Yeah, no, I think there's gonna be a market for it. What I can say is that even though we haven't looked into land much, it's the most overheated it's ever been. And so, if you're a value investor, you typically don't chase something that's the most overheated it's been in history. Yeah, so that's what I have to say with that. Now, we have a question here saying, any price predictions for PHEX day one? So look, on my end here, I'm a technical analyst, mean messing with technical analysts. That's our bread and butter.
I'm like the better technical analyst.
Right, sure. So as technical analysts, we are not fans of just arbitrary price predictions. The price of PX on day one is completely dependent on how long PulseChain takes to go live. Right now, I think Hex is in a bit of a range between support at 20 cents and resistance 30 to 35 cents, around that area. So I think we're just likely to range bound within that area. And depending on when PulseChain goes live, we're going to either be at the top end or bottom end of that range. I think it's pretty simple. Now, of course, I am biased to the upside super long term, but in the short term, what I can say is that Hex is still in a macro downtrend until it can manage to get 3 days weeklies closing above a higher high above 36 cents. That is I've been saying, I was literally saying since October that this 33 to 36 cents is the resistance zone, the level to look out for, exactly where we got rejected off of. So I'd want to see Hex spend time above that region to believe that all-time highs are in the playbook in the short term. Until then, folks, I believe this is a bit of a range. I also, by the way, bought the exact bottom here yesterday at 21.2 cents. I believe I was bringing this up on our Twitter and in our Discord. So folks, join our Discord, join our Twitter. If you want to keep up with me buying bottoms and selling tops pretty consistently. So we'll see where things go from here. The 4-hour chart's looking pretty nicely. Momentum is kicking up, which is good to see. So I think a bit of a relief rally with Hex. Hopefully 26 cents, I think, is in the playbook. If we get a Hex around 26 cents, I'd probably sacrifice it for PulseX. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Man. We have another question here from Joe L. I subbed a week ago. You're onto something, guys. Please tell us undervalued hidden gems since I missed the crow pump. That's what we're going to talk about this live stream here. Well, I don't know. When do you want to start getting into our favorite coins?
Let's get into now.
Let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, man. So look, we went over kind of what we thought, some of our major takeaways with 2021 here. And that was very, very important because it's going to influence, how we course correct, how we make decisions moving forward. Because you always want to learn from your mistakes, right? So let's start talking about our plan for 2022, man. Maybe just to start things off, I put out a video, I think a day or two ago, where I'm starting this, this challenge where I want to take, 10,000 real dollars and turn it into $1 million, hopefully in 2022. Again, no guarantee I'll get there, but I think I have a fighting chance. So look, man, I got some ideas as to where we can go moving forward and where it makes sense to place attention. But I want to hear from you. Where do you think it makes sense to be paying attention to in the year 2022?
I think, like we said before, user base. I think that's what I'm focusing much on because I think these are the main drivers that with when Bitcoin's dropping, when Ethereum was dropping, with everything back in April when everything dropped, we're having Axie Infinity pump, we're having all these different gaming tokens pump, we're having all these different NFT platforms pump. That's what I want because I think the public, the mainstream, doesn't give a shit about what's happening with Bitcoin, doesn't know what's happening with Bitcoin, doesn't know what Bitcoin difficulty is, doesn't know what Ethereum is doing, Ethereum leading the altcoin space or no. That's why we're the mainstream, we're on the back end. That's what I think. Us in the crypto space, crypto enthusiasts, we're in the back end. We're focusing, we're paying attention to these small things that we think are going to pump the market. And then all of a sudden, mainstream came in. It looks like the mainstream was looking at the NFTs. Looks like the mainstream was looking at the gaming tokens. Looks like the space was looking more into layer one scaling solutions. That's why we start having all these different the Solanas, the Aves, and all that come into the space. What I want to focus on this year, I see even someone who's saying, and because they've missed the crow pump. The biggest tokens for me, and I think for both of us, I think we're both on the same page here in terms of what's going to get us. I think we're both leaning into two different things. But the main thing for me, man, I'm looking into the Cronos ecosystem. That's what I want. In addition to being invested in Hex, in addition to being invested now soon with the whole Hex ecosystem, so the Hexicans don't get pissed off on this live stream. Take it easy, guys. Drink some water. Okay.
Man.
But we do have certain things we've been focusing on the channel. That's what we're trying to bring to you guys. But yeah, I think I want to focus a bit on the Cronos ecosystem, man. We've been looking, if anybody kind of missed the crypto.com pump, I don't really think crypto.com is done pumping, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be the main DeFi hub for all of crypto, since they do have the user base, and since they've been developing the apps on their phone, the DeFi wallet, and the people are there, man. And they have the marketing campaign. They got, the marketing dollars are coming in, billions of dollars being spent on all sports, on UFC. Buffon Nabi is saying that UFC partnership for Crow was clutch. I see their logo every single fight. That's what we need, man. That's what I need. I want the mainstream that doesn't give a shit about Bitcoin, that doesn't give a shit about Ethereum, to come and start investing in this coin, because they're just, they just see that, oh, hey, it's like the new Coinbase. I come and put in this thing on the phone and everything is just looking good, right? So to me, aside, I want you to talk as well about Hex and PulseX and all that stuff. For me, so far, I am also interested in those things. I'm also paying attention to the Crow. Stop smiling.
I feel like you just say that shit just so people will go after.
No. We've been. I'm invested in Hex, bro.
Don't worry, folks.
You can't come for me. I'm invested in Hex, and I sacrificed for PulseChain.
Did you do it already?
Yeah, the PulseChain.
Oh, the PulseChain.
Don't we have till January 10th for PulseX?
Yeah,
just shut the hell up then. But
yeah,
I'm
yeah. No. I hear you, man. No, I was just gonna say, I'm selling my car to put it all in the PulseX, eh?
Yeah, I think you told me that, bro. Are you gonna start walking everywhere these days, or what?
Yeah,
what are you saying?
I could lose some pounds. Yeah, man. Like, I'm gonna be a little bit healthier. Look, man. So, all right. So if I can maybe give my 2 cents here. So, Buddy was asking, one of the original questions here was talking about the next little gem or so on the channel, and this speaks to kind of what we want to do in 2022. Our goal, the whole point of this channel in the first place was, are you good? It just sounds like you want to bring something up.
No. I'm just
Okay.
I'm looking at the comments here. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
don't worry, man.
The whole point about this channel, folks, we're called the Millionaire of the Moon for a reason. Me and Messin, we're trying to get financial freedom through crypto. We said, if we achieve that, if we get that million, then what do we do next? Well, I suppose we can go to the moon, right? So that's the mission of this channel, folks. And so in 2022, I think we want to really focus on that, focusing on the opportunities that can get us closer to our goals, right? Because nothing's guaranteed in the space, but it's all about moving closer to your goals at the end of the day. And in terms of bringing in the lessons learned from 2021, narratives, and what has been one of the biggest winning narratives in 2021, folks, it was layer one smart contract blockchain. So if we can go to my screen here just real quick, bring this up. Here we go. So folks, look, there's been so many new use cases for crypto, from insurance to business deals to contracts, endless different DeFi protocols. But one of the most consistent niches winners in the space has been layer one smart contracts, basically Ethereum, competitors to Ethereum. Because while there's many decentralized applications being built on these layer one smart contract blockchains, many of them are unproven, many of them are speculative, many of them are trying to build out new use cases that are very unproven. So a lot of the time, in times of uncertainty, the value moves to the layer one smart contract blockchain. It's always the safest bet, and it's been one of the biggest winners in the space. If we look at Ethereum, Binance, Cardano, Solana, AVAX, Polkadot, Elrond, Harmony One, all these Ethereum competitors, they've all performed massively well, hundreds of X growth, 50X growth in the last couple of years. And so I think moving forward, I think it also continues to make sense to bet on layer one smart contract blockchains. They've been the safer play. They've been the performing play. The demand for throughput is just beginning. The real use case of these blockchains, we've barely scratched the surface in terms of real usage. So,
bro, sorry to cut you off, but doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it make sense? I think it's pretty, because that's the whole thing.
The demand's so high. Yeah, the demand's so, and like people like, and this is like where I have some problem with too, with like maximalism, any kind of maximalism, like Ethereum maximalist, PulseChain maximalist, whatever it is. I maximalism of any kind, just like blanket statements of any kind, are inherently problematic because there's always edge cases. And so, given that the demand in this space is so high and the real use cases barely scratch the surface, there's going to be multiple winners because the demand for throughput is so goddamn high. So, that's why I've been so gung-ho about this PulseChain ecosystem, PulseChain and PulseX, because I believe PulseChain is the next major Ethereum competitor. I think PulseChain has a fighting chance, a good shot of being that next Cardano, of being that next Polkadot, of being that next Binance. Binance BNB showed us that there's room in this space for a more centralized but cheaper, faster Ethereum competitor. Binance, this data is all from CoinGecko, by the way, just from the all-time low to all-time high, the data from CoinGecko. Binance did over a 17,000x. Folks, when we make those thumbnails talking about 100x, 1000x, it's super rare to get that, and it often takes years to get that, but those numbers actually happen in crypto. I actually got a 100x with Matic Polygon. So these kinds of investment growth is possible, and I think that out of all the options out there, while there's tons and tons of great options, some of them you bring up all the time as well. VVS, I think, is very, very interesting and worth everyone's consideration. But I personally think that there's really something to this PulseChain ecosystem, and specifically because the PulseChain sacrifice phase is over, PulseX. Folks, PancakeSwap did a 220x from all-time low to all-time high. PulseX has better, more interesting tokenomics where it's deflationary from the start, and we'll have a buyback and burn program, which will add 24/7 buy pressure to the chart, which basically means it has more interesting tokenomics than any DEX I'm aware of. So if we've seen DEXs do 220x, 190x, what could a DEX, which is the next on the next major Ethereum competitor, do with superior tokenomics to the rest of them? I think several 100x growth, given enough years, is truly possible. So that's why I'm going all in on PulseX. I sold the vast majority, liquidated the vast majority of my portfolio, got rid of personal favorites, VeChain, Decenter, all these coins.
We've been
specifically
on VeChain for a minute, bro.
I love VeChain, and I love so many of the coins I sold. Love them. I think they're endlessly interesting and have a future in the space. But in terms of the money-making move, I'm not here for personal attachments to obscure technologies. I'm here to have financial freedom and hopefully help others along the way as well. And in terms of all the options I'm aware of, I personally think that PulseX is the best option for multiple reasons. I've been going on for a long time here, so we can delve into the reasons more so later. But I want to hear what you think so far. Maybe we can touch on some of the comments as well.
What I want to comment on is Corey, man. Thank you for the $9.99 donation. Hey guys, been here since May of 2021. Just want your guys' advice. Is a 5x possible for Link and VeChain? Thanks again, gentlemen. I do think 5x is not really that much for these kind of coins to come in, but to me specifically and to Brendan specifically, I think there's a lot more to be done, or a lot more gains or returns that can be done in the space, a lot more than what VeChain and Link has been doing. And the reason why is because if you look at the market, we've been trying to find the things that don't follow Bitcoin, the things that don't follow Ethereum, the things that have been just doing their own thing, and they've been exploding on their own. And we're trying to see where the next, not hype, but the next focus is going to be the spotlight, because we know that's what brings all the returns. So for VeChain and Link, look, man, if you're looking for the next 5x, just say that's what you're kind of comfortable in for now. We talked about VeChain for a while, but it looks like VeChain just keeps following Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dropping, VeChain's dropping. If Bitcoin's dropping, Link is dropping. At one point, we had some sort of big Chainlink has been having a lot of I would say connections to the Google execs that have been kind of dabbling a lot with Chainlink in general, trying to use that, and it kind of makes sense why Google would try to come into the kind of hub of where crypto is. And I think obviously that was a lot of oracles, a lot of data properly. How am I going to say this? Data transfer at its most raw form and the quickest form without any mechanical manipulation. Obviously, Link is where it's at, and that's why we think Google has been really paying attention to that. But nonetheless, I do think these things can do a 5x. But if Bitcoin's not doing good, for the time being, I would say forget about that. But if things continue to move up and things are looking good in the space, and yeah, bro, I think 5x for both of these coins is pretty normal.
Yeah, so just to piggyback on what you're saying, so VeChain and VeChain and Chainlink are both, in my opinion, super solid long-term holds. I'm sure they'll do fine, although they will mostly track whatever Bitcoin is doing. I'd also add that, look, I owned, up until a couple of days ago, plenty of Chainlink and VeChain. I love those projects. I think they have a great long-term future. I can't wait to own them again in the future. But in terms of the money-making play, fuck a 5x. Fuck a 5x.
Let them know, man.
You're not going to make life-changing gains with a 5x. I think in 2022, if Bitcoin, enters price discovery doesn't break down, yeah, I think a 5x with Chainlink and VeChain, very reasonable. Is a 5x going to change anyone's life? Unless you already have hundreds of thousands, millions, probably not. The thing that changes people's life is several-fold. Getting in early on something that is of high quality, all right? And that is exactly the opportunity here with this PulseChain ecosystem with PulseX. I recently liquidated all my VeChain, all my Chainlink, a bunch of coins that I think were endlessly interesting and I think have long-term futures, and to sacrifice it all for PulseX, specifically because regardless of how much I like those other projects and how interesting they are and how they have long-term futures, the money-making play, I think, is obviously here with PulseX, folks. We've seen Ethereum competitors do hundreds of X, thousands of X growth. We've seen other decentralized exchanges do hundreds of X growth. So if this is the next decentralized exchange with the most interesting tokenomics in the next, up-and-comer ecosystem, that being PulseChain, if it's what could it do? Well, if it has the best, most interesting tokenomics. So look, man, not financial advice, folks, but I've gone all in on PulseX, and like I said, I think I got a shot of reaching my goal in 2022.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah.
We see also Corey with another $5 donation, man. Appreciate you. I hope this actually answered the question in regards to this bull run. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Hopefully this answered everything. But again, man, we see a lot of other comments here as well, man. We're saying as well, so I guess my question is, if I have $1,000 to invest, I know it's not a financial advice. What project should I put my eyes on? Maybe, Brendan just explained to you what he's actually going all in on as well. From my end, man, you guys can see here, we're seeing a lot of people talking about VVS Finance as well. A lot of people are talking about, I guess, Tectonic as well. We see some comments. For me as well, man, I think VVS Finance and Tectonic are going to be the next as well big thing for crypto DeFi, in my opinion. From my opinion, nothing's going to grow. It was actually naive of us to think that something is going to grow without being regulatory friendly.
And I think it's very similar to where I'm coming from with this. We're sorry to cut you off, but just a real quick add-on, 30 seconds. VVS Finance is going to be the swap, the DeFi hub of the crypto.com ecosystem. Definitely. There's massive opportunity here. That's why I'm saying, with PulseX is going to be the DeFi hub, the swap of the PulseChain ecosystem. So finding those main DeFi hubs of what is going to be a layer 1 smart contract blockchain that sticks around, there's tremendous opportunity there. Tremendous.
That's
starting that up for you, but
100%. Yeah. Just don't do it again, man. Just don't do it again. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Maybe I'll just share kind of my screen here. Just share screen, you guys, what I'm trying to say.
Like and subscribe and share the live stream,
folks. Do your thing, support us so we can support you. We love doing this, man. We love y'all. We love y'all, man. So this is what I'm trying to say here, man. The Cronos network is where I've been really paying the most attention to here, especially here, even with VVS Finance. You can see here, let's just look at the holders, right? And I've been telling people, crypto.com, we saw what happened with crypto.com and how it's been actually taking over the world, in my opinion, man. Soon enough here, crypto.com is going to be the Adidas of this whole thing. Every single sport you can think of, UFC, and not only that, bro. Look, I don't only focus on like what they're marketing. I think they have an amazing product. I think
No, the
their
market is just the cherry on top.
interoperability
Yeah.
is that's what we need. We can have a lot of good business products, but if there's no marketing happening, no one's gonna know about that shit. Someone else is gonna come and steal it. That's how the big guys play. Unfortunately, that's how the economy plays. You need to market your thing pretty well for you to do, get into the space. But not for the people that miss the crypto.com. And for the people that are thinking like, oh, is this the end of it? Or is this the end of the pump? I don't think that's it. But again, if we're looking at the next, let's say 100x, maybe minimum, in my opinion, we're looking here at this chart, man. This is the Cronos Explorer. And these are the main tokens that I've been interested in the most. VVS Finance. There's just the page here, guys. If you guys want to go cronos.crypto.org, cronos.crypto.org, and you go to tokens, and then you go to all. It gives you a list of all the Cronos, of the tokens that are built on Cronos. The biggest one we have right now is 60,000 holders for VVS Finance. And look, man, Crypto.com has 10 million plus users that are going to start getting exposed to this shit. And only 60,000 people hold VVS Finance. Imagine the amount of people that are going to start getting exposed to DeFi through VVS Finance when VVS Finance is not even at what are we looking at right now? At the 0.000055, it is actually at a big drop, in my opinion. We're trying to find some sort of a floor, but not even that. If we take from this, and that's obviously because a lot of people have been selling this, right? A lot of people got these tokens in general, and they tried to actually, everybody was making money out of this. But I think really this thing is actually trying to find that support, and it's probably going to find it now. I really think there's going to be the next big thing for Crypto.com, because VVS Finance, in my opinion, is going to be backed by Crypto.com. Is being used on the natively on the app. Is going to be the main swap for Crypto.com, and that's my first pick. The next big pick for me, which you saw, guys, my recent video about it. For Tectonic, I saw some in the comments talking about Tectonic as well. Borrowing and lending, only 17,000 people actually have it so far, holders. A lot of people are going to get exposed to Tectonic, and whoever these 70,000 people here for Tectonic are definitely going to see some returns in 2022. I think Crypto.com is going to have massive plans, massive marketing plans. Is going to get exposed to these 10 million plus people, and that's what's going to take us to the next 100x, in my opinion. And recently, I've been seeing a lot of comments on my videos, man, which I really appreciate what you guys have been doing. I've been really getting a lot of knowledge from you guys on this whole thing. Is what's it called? Where's it at? MMF, I think that's what it's called. Mad Meerkat Finance. Apparently they're having a token burn sometime soon. I checked out the website. We're gonna make a video about it sometime soon here. But this is also my next what I'm actually gonna start reviewing soon. Not a lot of people hold it, but I really think it's actually there's a lot to it. But main thing for me, man, VVS Finance and Tectonic, they're backed by Crypto.com. If you go to their Discords, you go watch how the moderators and how everyone's speaking, and all the updates that are coming up, and how Crypto.com has been starting to market these on their Twitter. I think it's naive for us not to consider those and not think that's going to be the next 100x, man, in my opinion.
Well, look, man, because we talk plenty, guys. You should see the debates we have behind the scenes. We always say all the time, like, we got to record these discussions because, look, we really get into it. And one of the things I like to push back on in terms of why, first of all, I am a VVS investor. I'm staking VVS. But in terms of why it hasn't been my particular focus, one of the things that was missing for me was the tokenomics. So can we maybe just, I think that's helpful for people to know as well. Can we touch upon that for a second? Because here's my thing. We've seen plenty of coins in the space with a great feature set that are even onboarding users that don't do well because the token lacks use case, a reason to hold it. A lot of these coins that are just maybe pure governance, don't really give you a whole lot of reason to hold it. So can we touch upon the tokenomics of VVS?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So every year, since its existence, the tokenomics is going to be halved. So the first year is 50 trillion.
So there's
Yeah,
a yearly
there's a
halving.
halving every
Okay,
single
there you
year.
go. Yeah.
And not only that, we're talking about incentivization to actually hold the coin, because every time you go on the actual app on VVS Finance, is the natively connected to Crypto.com DeFi wallet. Whatever you want to do on VVS Finance, you need VVS tokens to actually use it. With
Oh,
you,
so
this
VVS is the fee. You use VVS as
100%.
the fee.
Yeah, if you actually
Okay,
want
there
to
you go.
farm,
So to
let's
use the
say
network, use it.
if you guys
Okay.
saw Beefy Finance, if you guys saw Tectonic as well, if you guys saw Auto VVS and Manual VVS staking, that's all VVS. That's all VVS. You need VVS for all these new tokens to be, for you to participate on those rewards. And not only that, the biggest thing for VVS Finance is what it said. It's an IGO platform where that's where the Cronos, main token is going to be launched at, and for you to actually have some sort of for you to get exposed to that distribution of these new tokens, or I participate in the IGO. Guess what? You need to hold VVS Finance for 7 days at least and be farming it for you actually to be participate in all of those. So there's a lot of incentives. Every year is going to have some sort of a halving going on, and at one point, I don't know, man. We're gonna have a lot of marketing going on for those guys, and I see interoperability out that I don't want to start swearing, man. I don't want to start
feel
swearing.
free. We've already done
That,
it, so I think it's fine.
that if you guys go check out Crypto.com DeFi app and go to dApps and see how this interoperability is off the charts, man. I don't want to get too hyped. I'm getting too hyped up.
Well, look,
Check it out, guys.
that made me happier because it's one thing to simply have great features, but you also want to have reason to hold the token as well. So the fact that they have some fundamentals built in their staking, fees, that's some reason to hold the coin. So I was glad to hear that as well.
Definitely.
So this all stemmed off from one question as well. What was the original question? Which is the $1,000. So to wrap up on your point, whoever asked that, I forget who asked that. I thank you for the super chats, by the way, folks. I really appreciate that. Corey was saying if he has $1,000 to invest, where would you put it? Well, Corey, again, I made a video a couple days ago saying, where I'm trying to invest 10,000 real dollars, turn to $1 million in the year 2022, and I put it all into PulseX. And if we can maybe just touch on a new point there with PulseX, I also saw Bufo on the beat bring up a great point as well, which he was saying, share with the people more information with PulseX. So, folks, this is the PulseX main website here. Actually, this is not the main website. If you see easyhex.xyz, this is not the main website. You should go to PulseX.com, folks. And let me see if I can actually pull it up here in a second here. But, folks, one reason why I think it makes sense to go all in here on PulseX, at least for myself here, is because even though I think PulseChain is probably the better investment for the long term for a couple of reasons, like to have a more scarce supply than PulseX. And as we've seen in one of those previous charts, it's the layer one smart contract blockchains that usually outperform their native DEXs. So I think there's some good reasons to think that PulseChain is perhaps a superior investment over PulseX. But why am I going so heavy into PulseX? One of the reasons why I'm going so heavy into PulseX is because it has been said that when PulseChain goes live and everyone who participated in the sacrifice phases gets airdropped their coins from the wallet they sacrificed from, there will be a couple day period before an Ethereum bridge is built out and Ethereum liquidity has the chance to move into PulseChain, which basically means, folks, if you want to buy PulseChain, one of the only people who have the first opportunity to do so are people who participated in the PulseX sacrifice phase. Because when PulseChain goes live, you'll be able to swap your PulseX for PulseChain before the Ethereum bridge is built out. And so basically the sacrificers will be one of the few people who have the first chance to buy PulseChain before the rest of the world does. And so when PulseChain goes live, I'm looking to have majority PulseChain, minority PulseX, maybe a 60-40 split, 70-30 split. I haven't decided quite just yet. So that's why when I put in a thumbnail, this is the next 1000x investment. The reason why I say this is like a 1000x investment is not necessarily because we have a track record of DEXs doing thousands of X. We have a track record of DEXs doing hundreds of X. It's because you'll be able to swap your PulseX for PulseChain. And so then maybe there is a track record of, just to finish up one. Last sentence. And there is a track record of the layer one smart contract blockchains having thousands of X growth. So that's how I think I'll be able to more easily achieve that 1000X growth, 100X growth in the year in the coming years.
So just to maybe simplify it for the people, so we're saying the fact that there's some sort of a delay in the bridge, so you can transfer or swap between PulseX to PulseChain or PulseChain to PulseX. Whoever actually holds PulseChain initially, they don't need that bridge. That's why they're having a bit of a leverage to swap their tokens before the rest of the world comes in and actually pumps the price. Is that what we're saying here?
Right. So let's
Okay.
say you didn't participate in the sacrifice phase, but you want some pulse chain.
You can't do anything.
You can't do anything. There's going to be a couple days where there's just trading natively within pulse chain, and then later the bridge will be built out.
I see.
So
Okay.
so yeah, so the people who participate in the sacrifice phase, and I believe the people who get the airdrops as well. Those are going to be the people who get to buy pulse chain first. So they're the first in line to figure out what kind of portfolio allocation you want, and then later the rest of the world gets to come in with their bridged in liquidity that didn't participate in the sacrifice phase.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I think the people that are sacrificing are the ones that are kind of, getting that leverage at the end of the day. You risked your money, you risked,
Yeah.
you took that risk, and now you kind of reap that reward with some sort of, yeah, man. No, I understand that, and that's what it is, guys. For us, we see a lot of people here, asking all these questions, and that's what we've been trying to do here. For us, look, man, we don't care about what the token or who's making the token. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of credibility to that, but we're not married to some sort of specific kind of crypto. If tomorrow there's something that's have some sort of better leverage than PulseChain, PulseX, or Hex, or VVS Finance, or Crypto.com, best believe we're focusing on that as well. So to us, we just want to help the people. That's what we're looking into, and we're trying to show you everything in some sort of a very there's no gray areas. There's what we think about it. There's what's happening. If there's something better than Crypto.com for me, if there's something better than VVS Finance for me, if there's something better than Hex, PulseChain, or PulseX, we're looking at that. And for the time being, we have these are the list of tokens that I really think that what we're looking at so far is what's actually going to build that wealth. And we're not looking as in we really do our due diligence here, guys. We don't just blindly follow something. We really look at the numbers. We really try to do the best we can.
We've debated these subjects for hours and days and weeks and months.
Did I feel like punching Brendan's face or throat at 100%?
Guys, yeah, you guys should hear some of the conversations. Like we've had debates behind the scenes for hours about where it makes sense to place our focus. If we're considering the wrong things, if where we could be going wrong, where we could be going right, how to analyze this, how to speculate on this, what's a reasonable way of speculating on this stuff. And man, just like you said, the things we've been focusing on, VVS, PulseX, PulseChain, Hex. I am not aware of any better investment opportunities in the space. I'm just not, folks. We're focusing on this stuff because we legitimately think that this is where, to our best understanding, this is where the opportunity lies. We'd love to be convinced elsewise. Man, if someone convinces me, presents to me this other cryptocurrency that's amazing, the bee's knees, the best thing since sliced bread, I'll ditch PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex for the thing that's better. But I've just not found any superior investment option in terms of the potential upside, in my opinion. And just to quickly let people know how to participate if one's so inclined. Again, do your own research, folks. But if one was so inclined,
before you get to that, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, man.
Yeah, folks, like, comment, subscribe, share the live stream. We really appreciate it, folks. That's honestly the best way to help us out. And again, thank you everyone for the kind comments and all the super chats here. But for anyone interested in participating in PulseX, again, I went all in on day one. Although I will be sacrificing more as well.
Guy selling his car, man.
I sold my car. I'm taking out loans. I'm going all in on this thing, man. So I liquidated the vast majority of my portfolio for PulseX, again, because I think I'll be able to swap it for
100%.
PulseChain and having. Anyways, I already went over that. But folks, PulseX.com. PulseX.com gives you a list of cryptocurrencies that you can sacrifice. All right. So if you click on this PulseX.info, it will further show you the steps. So this is the address you send coins to. So any of these coins, you send to this address, and that will give you PulseX sacrifice points. You are currently getting 10,000 points per US dollar worth of cryptocurrency sacrificed. That rate will change on January the 10th, where you will get less and less and less for your money up until February the 25th. After February 25th, there's been rumored to be about a month until PulseChain goes live. So we can hopefully expect PulseChain to go live and all our coins be airdropped maybe late first quarter 2022, hopefully. All right, folks. So something else you got to be aware of. You can send from these chains: Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum Optimism, Avalanche. But you need to make sure you are sending from not an exchange wallet, a wallet you have the private keys to. That basically means, for simplicity's sake, MetaMask. Okay, folks. So you have to send any one of these cryptos.
Funny, bro. I can't lie.
Sorry. Well, man, because I've so many people are asking this question, and I want to articulate this in a way that people understand. You have to send any one of these cryptocurrencies from MetaMask to this address, and in 2 or 3 months, when PulseChain goes live, you will be airdropped those coins. So I just wanted to articulate that in a very straightforward way, because there's tons and tons of people asking about how to participate in the comments. So that is exactly how you participate.
There we go. Appreciate you sharing all of that, man. Appreciate you, just trying to just give people all this golden knowledge, man. So you're kind of annoying, but we really bring up that you bring up that heat, man. You bring up that you really bring up that heat, man. That heat, man. I saw a comment here. I don't know, guys. Help me out to verify whether this is true or not. But I saw somebody here. I'm really just trying to find this comment here. What do they say? I'm still on VVS and Crow, but I'm getting in on PulseX as well. See, that's what we're trying to do here. Just connect you guys to all this.
We're not maximalists, man. We chase opportunity wherever it lies. Whether it's 100%. VVS, whether it's PulseX. Next week it could be something completely different. We chase quality, we chase opportunity. Right now it just so happens to be VVS, it just so happens to be PulseX, but a 100%. Year from now it could be something different.
100%. And I see here, I think it's by D107. D107 was saying that VVS Finance is what's actually is the native token for Cronos chain. That's not something I'm actually aware of. If it is, then goddamn, that's huge. But well, so far what I know is Crows was driving the Cronos chain, man. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's saying if he found a deleted interview that states VVS powers the Cronos chain. If it does, then that's crazy. But I don't really think so. I don't really think so, man. But again, I could be wrong, man. Anything is actually possible in that space. But thank you for sharing with us. Yeah, if you drop in the don't drop in the link, bro. Don't drop in the link.
Yeah,
man.
nobody click
links. Don't no one click links. No one share links on this channel, man, before we call the cops on you. But again, man, we're pushing here close to an hour and 5 minutes here. What else do we want to talk about? What else we got?
Folks, again, we're going to kind of summarize some of our thoughts here, answer any final questions. Folks, please do us that favor. Like and subscribe. Share the live stream. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because as more gems come out, as more updates with PulseChain, VVS, PulseX, Hex comes out, we will be letting you guys know.
100%.
So, yeah, man. So, look.
Can I say something before we get to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I hate the most?
What do you hate the most?
I go to Starbucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Today they got a new worker, and I'm a nice person. I'm a nice person. I don't just talk shit out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But bro, I bought this literally 2 hours ago. I grabbed it because I'm stupid, right? I go and get this cold brew, which I highly recommend, guys. And I think Starbucks should be paying us. Get the cold brew, black, nothing in it, just ice and just cold brew coffee. She filled it all with ice. It's been 2 hours. I just drank water this whole time, man. There was
good. You should drink water. You're so dehydrated.
I'm
out here constantly drinking water.
I paid $20 for ice, man.
Man, look, I'm just happy she's like tricking you into health. I've been trying to convince this guy to drink water. He's all the time dehydrated. This is why, man, we brought this up in the board meeting.
If I'm dehydrated, you would not have this kind of skin. Check this out, man. Let me just get that real quick here. There's no way we can have this kind of skin, man. The skin is, I got a lot of pores, but I get it, man.
Close your eyes, people. Put on the shades.
Yeah, my bad. Anyways, go ahead.
Look, go ahead. Man, so I kind of want to bring up something I've seen from the comments as well, which is a lot of people, man. So many things, man. People do not, very few people understand where risk truly lies and where price appreciation truly lies. Like I'm seeing a lot in the comments is VVS PulseX is going to have such a high market cap. How could it ever do 100x? How could it ever do 1000x? Folks, market cap can be a helpful metric for some things. It can also be extremely unhelpful for other things. It's a double-edged sword. Market cap can give you some kind of understanding of the economic energy within a protocol, but it can also be extremely misleading. For example, I could just create some random ERC20 coin with 100 trillion total supply, and I could sell one coin for $1 to Messin. Now all of a sudden I have a project that's worth $100 trillion.
Right.
Market cap can be very misleading, folks. What's actually important is the supply that's felt on the market. What percentage of the supply is day-to-day trading, day-to-day being absorbed by the market? With VVS, with PulseX, it's likely to be a tenth, likely to be 100th, likely to be an extremely small minority of the total supply is actually being felt and traded by the market. That's the number that's important. Rather than market cap. Market cap can be a very unhelpful metric.
100%. There's something called float cap, like, where you're kind of taking away whatever the people, the owners of the project hold. That's something that, and if you're looking at the traditional market, man, no one's looking just at market cap. They look at the specific, like it's called float, because you're taking away how many shares people that are actually that have never been exposed to the market. There's never been a circulation. Whoever is in the top, and is in the one of the owners of the projects, whatever they hold does not get counted and all that, because that gives us an accurate explanation or a representation of how much this is actually valued so far. Because if I own something, out of nowhere I stop printing tokens and each token is worth $1, that doesn't mean my market cap is magically growing, man. So that's something we really need to bust that myth, and we need to be very smart when we're talking about those things. That's why we stopped talking about market cap that much, man, because
it's
it defies the purpose of the analysis.
It's a very inaccurate way of analyzing something. Like, again, the best case scenario that you could give towards market cap is that it can give you a sense of the economic energy within something. But again, I think there's far better metrics. I think a more nuanced approach is far more accurate.
Yeah,
in my opinion. It's very highly problematic.
Definitely. I see one of the questions here is from Stephen Neves. Sorry if I butcher your name. Have you gone over farming VVS, not mining, and the token is best option for farming on dApps? I made the video recently, just mainly for Tectonic, though, that, because it's a trifecta, man. Crypto.com, DeFi wallet, Tectonic, and VVS Finance are all from the same team, man. If you guys go and, really pay attention to the Discord, you guys go and see the risk disclosures on the white papers, you'll see Particle Bees behind all these projects. That's where the project gets incubated at. They're the ones helping the development of the project on the Cronos chain, and also the ones that are also probably as well, pushing in or pumping money into the development of it. And if you go to the Discord, it's the same shit, man. It's like someone sent an email, huh? I don't know if you've seen it, man. If someone sent an email, it's like, hey, this is how the Discord should look like for both of y'all. This is what you need to put in the rules, and I'll show you after the live stream. I don't want to show my Discord here, but it's the same. It's actually copy paste on each on the different Discords. But Tectonic and VVS Finance are meant to be communicating together. And but what I'm trying to say is, go watch that video. I went over the VVS Finance firms, and I just looked at stable coins. I really don't like providing liquidity that much, besides for stable coins, and that's we don't want to really accrue impermanent loss, especially for some sort of a coin that I'm that I think is gonna pump sometime soon, right? If I get into VVS USDT right now, it's gonna I'm gonna start accruing some impermanent loss. Looking forward. So for liquidity providing, I'm really interested in USDT to USDC, but if you look into impermanent loss, and if you can navigate that and you can actively manage it proactively, then there's a bunch of options.
This impermanent loss situation is another reason why I'm so goddamn bullish on PulseX. Because for those who don't know, to explain impermanent loss very quickly here, impermanent loss simply means that when you're providing liquidity in an automated market maker, you have to put up two sides of a pair. So that's Ethereum Chainlink, for example, all right? And when you go to take your funds back out, whatever coin moved more, you get less of that coin back when you take it off. That's the easiest explanation I've heard of an impermanent loss. And so, folks, with PulseX will be the largest AMM liquidity providing protocol in history, because all Ethereum holders are going to get airdropped ERC versions of all ERC20 coins on Ethereum will be airdropped on the Pulse chain as well, meaning people will be able to provide liquidity on PulseX for all these different coins with like Chainlink Ethereum and Chainlink PulseX. And given that they're the same underlying asset, the risk of impermanent loss is vastly mitigated, meaning PulseX will be the largest yield farming protocol in the world with the greatest degree of mitigated risk, that being impermanent loss, because you'll be able to provide liquidity for, let's say, Hex Ethereum and P Hex, and since they're the same underlying asset, they're very likely to move similarly, thus vastly mitigating your risk of impermanent loss. So look, man, you have the next Ethereum competitor, PulseChain, which is cheaper, faster, deflationary, better tokenomics, fee burning. Then you have PulseX, largest yield farm in the world, best tokenomics of any DEX I've ever seen. Look, guys, not financial advice. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see several hundreds of X price growth with PulseX and PulseChain in the coming years. Again, I could be wrong. I could have just completely bet the farm on something that I just misanalyzed, and my prejudices got in the way of me truly analyzing this in an objective way. But again, guys, I've been in the space for what feels like years at this point, and I'm not aware of any better investment option other than the things we've spoken about in this live stream.
There we go. And I see Bukowski 666 is saying, do you think I'm too late for VVS? I really don't think you are. I think this 2022
all-time lows.
It's an all-time lows right now, and things are going to start moving soon here. I think 2022 is going to be massive for VVS Finance, and I really think it's going to be huge. I don't know how many huge I can put in there, man, but I think it's going to be massive in 2022. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you check out Tectonic. Make sure you check out PulseChain, PulseX. Make sure you check out Hex. Make sure you check out Crypto.com, man. I think that's where we're going to find our next, 100x in one of these. And if tomorrow something comes up that says otherwise, then guess what, we're gonna stop focusing too much about it and look at the next big thing. So that's what it is, man. But look, man, we've been pushing the hour and 15 minutes here. What else did I want to talk about as well?
Yeah, is there any final thoughts here, anything kind of want to summarize here?
I would say, look, man,
2022.
I saw even some of my friends, and they're probably even watching right now, but I saw that some of my friends as well have been having a hard time knowing where to look. And I get that. When we first got into crypto, we didn't know where the hell to look. And what I'm trying to tell you is that no one knows where to look. It's a completely new space that's trying to find innovation anywhere they can. And the biggest problems we got so far is interoperability. Number one, it's scaling solutions. Number two, that meaning scaling solutions. Like imagine having a very, very, slow laptop, and you're trying to play the biggest game on there. It's not going to happen. So we're looking at the next big, fastest computer that can do all this crypto stuff without lagging, without crashing, without congesting the blockchain. That's the biggest thing. That's what you need to be looking at. Go check out what a blockchain is, man. I know a lot of you guys probably don't even understand properly what a blockchain is. Go check that out. Go check out, the first what a first layer scaling solution is. Go check. I really think there's a big market for NFTs and meme tokens. To be honest, I know it's a very controversial thing, but I really do think there's a market for that. Just like how there's a market for Kim Kardashian. There's a market for Kim Kardashian, man.
No, you're
there's
right,
a market for
yeah.
dancing kids on TikTok that have no value, but we see billions of dollars being bought. And that's what it is, man. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, bro.
Folks, like and subscribe, share everything, click all the buttons, join our Discord, join our Twitter. There's a link for everything down in the description below. Look, man, I want to wrap up with saying this. Number one, Hex, you can earn on aggregate over 30% for staking. When PulseChain goes live, you can earn on aggregate over 60% on what was one of the world's best performing assets ever, and likely to be one of the world's best performing assets in the future due to one of the most bullish tokenomic models I've ever seen in my life. Do not sleep on Hex. Again, I've gone all in on PulseX specifically because I was already happy with having a bunch of Hex stakes. All right, so my average staking ladder for Hex is well over 10 years. All right, so because I already have my Hex stakes in, I was very comfortable, going all in on PulseX. But again, I would be wary of completely ignoring Hex, where you can earn on aggregate 60% on what was one of the best performing assets, and likely to be being one of the world's best performing assets in the future. Although, of course, could always be wrong. And then maybe just wrap up with a final bit of wisdom here, folks. Look, I recently read one book on investing, and I should reread another, and I want to share it with you guys just real quick here. Folks, The Richest Man in Babylon and The Most Important Thing, those are two books on investing that I think are been extremely influential for myself, at least in terms of refocusing what's important in this space. And look, there's some simple truths in these books that I think are really important to keep in mind, which is if you just keep making your money work for you, it only takes so much compounding interest, only so many doubles to turn a small amount into a large amount. So folks, keep learning, don't buy our own bullshit, do your own research, and keep at it, folks, because
100%.
it only takes a finite amount of times being right to turn small amounts into large amounts.
100%. Small amounts, large amounts, and that's what it is. Patience, man. Patience. I know it's not the hottest thing we're saying. I know it's boring to be patient. I know it's boring to be, reading some sort of a book you're not interested in, but that's what you got to do, man. If you're looking into crypto, that's what you got to do. You got to really educate yourself, because there's a lot of bullshit out there that's really going to take you by surprise, and you really will not know what's going on. And, you got to really pay attention to that. So stay in the space, even if it's not hot anymore. Stay in the space, even if there's no interest anymore. Stay in the space, even if, you hear some crazy stuff about Bitcoin dropping in China, FUD, and blah, 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 and there's banning. Nothing's getting banned. It's been 10 years now, 11 years where they're trying to ban this and they're just not able to. So that's why they're adopting it, because you can't shut down the internet. They created the internet and it turned out to this, big monster that they can't control anymore. And we're trying to take advantage of that. No more mutual funds, no more RSPs, no more 1% after 10 years of just, investing in something. We're looking at innovation right now. We're looking at crypto. God damn, I got pumped right now. I just pumped myself.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up, man. How about you?
100%. Appreciate you guys. Guys, please like, share, subscribe. Check out our Discord. That's where we, we communicate the quickest on Discord. Check out everything we talk about, man. You don't often see us here making videos together, me and Brendan, but we're going to start doing that, talking about, you guys saw we're kind of conflicted in certain areas. We want to, delve deeper into that and bring you more content. And, we're going to start talking about our stuff a lot more together. Check out our Twitter.
Here's click all the links.
Say a quick prayer. Should we say a prayer?
Hey, man, I'll say this, at least for myself. Here's to getting a rolly, hopefully by the end of 2022. I think if I get a first million, I'll get a rolly. Yeah, man. We'll see.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
All right,
again, man, are you planning to take off the stupid, like, you're my CEO kind of thing? Or what are we saying here?
Well, look, man, if you put in the work, if you keep putting in the time, you can grow in this space, man. Like I told you when I first took you under my wing.
You have no wings.
There's room to grow at aMillionortheMoon here, but you just got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort, right? Like we recently just came out of a board meeting. You had some less than ideal performance. So these are some of the things we take into account at the board. So just keep working, man, and you'll get there. Don't worry about it.
I'm tired, man.
Oh, look, this is a nice comment. Thank you, guys. Solid as always. Been watching. Hold on, man. Been watching. Hey, man, I was reading the comment. Hold on. Been watching for a year now, and you continue to make great content daily. Thank you very much.
There we go. Dino Shark is saying like, share, and subscribe. Buffo on the Beat saying YouTube University with Professors Brendan and Messin. Where completion fails. What up? Guys, you guys are amazing. Thanks, fellas. What up, Far Out Aliens? I don't know who the hell that is. Thank you guys so much. Great stream, guys. Far Out Alien. Oh, that's what he is. Appreciate you guys watching. I apologize for Brendan's behavior. Sometimes he needs to be slapped around a bit to kind of get him on track. Appreciate you guys really having patience with him. He's kind of special. He's a special kid. He's a very special kid.
You're not gonna like the next board meeting.
He's a special kid, man. He's a special kid. I'll tell you that much. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Have a great day. I'm about to go eat. My mom's making some really great food, and
let's go eat. Let's go make some money.
Let's go make some money, man. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
No,
we out.
Take care.